Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and here we have a huge price dropped knife sale. The same knife sale that we did before, but now we have a huge price drop on what is left. All the prices are final, and it has to be USA, 18 or older. If you want the knife, you're going to email me at the email below. Not my regular email, it's a different one. But you're going to email me there. If you want it, let me know you want it. I'll let you know if it's still available. And if it's still available, I'm going to send you my, where to ship the money to. And hopefully it can go really quickly. I don't want a bunch of questions or anything like that because it'll just take too much time. So if you want it, you want it. If not, you don't. So let's get started. And I'm not trying to be rude or anything. It just makes it a lot more simple that way. I'm not sending extra pictures or anything. I'm going to show you the knife as much as possible right here. And if you want it, there you go. So this is the Alexander CHERBURKOV Raven XL. The price, we dropped it down to $550. It's practically like new. There's a couple little tiny marks on the clip. The blade is beautiful. It looks like a custom SPYDERCO. The action is amazing. It really is. Reverse flicking action is great. The hole is placed in such a good spot. Nice leverage on the hole too. It's got the perfect amount of sharpness without being sharp. Access to the lock bar is really good. Very false shutty. Titanium frame lock. Great machining. Shredded or marbled carbon fiber. Show side, I don't see any voids or anything. There's a couple little tiny dots right there, but for the most part, this is a great example of marbled carbon fiber. Perfectly centered, and it comes only with the pouch, and that is $550. Next we have the BOKER Plus. This has the pouch, the box, everything. This was priced a little bit high off the start. We dropped it down dramatically. We got this one for $60 now. $60 D2 steel. Oh, I forgot to mention that last knife. That was M390 steel. I should have mentioned that. D2 steel, shred carbon fiber, steel liners that are coated somehow, and then a pivot collar that's coated. It's probably aluminum. I'm not positive on that. Spring pocket clip, and a G10 backspacer. It has a flipper and a reverse flicking deployment. Pretty smooth on the drop. Feels like it's on bearings. And that is for $60. Next is the SPYDERCO Police. Great example of the SPYDERCO Police. This does come with an aftermarket titanium clip. Beautiful drop point blade with a nice little swedge on the top. And this is a hollow ground blade. VG10 steel. Steel scales and back spring. Nice snappy lockup. Centering is a little off to the right, but these back locks are just like that. The original clip does not come with it, but you do get the aftermarket clip. And this is for $135. $135. Good price on that. Next, we have the next SPYDERCO Police, but this one is serrated. And it's fully serrated, which is great. It's not a partial serration. So this is definitely going to do some nice cutting. It is a hollow ground serrated blade. Same exact as the other, just the serrated version. Same clip, or practically the same clip, another deep carry clip. We do have a couple little scuffs on this one, on this side. Other than that, it does look really good. VG10 steel, great action, very smooth, very easy to deploy for such a large knife because these are large. I could do that again. Yeah, these are big knives, but well done. Centering is... This one's pretty centered. The tip is just off on the sharpening, which is pretty common from SPYDERCO. Next, we have... Oh, yeah, and that one is $135 as well. Next, we have the SPYDERCO PATTESE. SPYDERCO PATTESE. This one is an Italian-made knife, or Italian Spyderco, an M390 steel. Very smooth on the drop. The detent is lighter on the light side, so it's more of a slow rolling action. Very satisfying slow rolling action and nice sound. You can hear that lock up. You can reverse flick it, but like I said, the detent's a little light. Steel liner lock. I believe it's steel. We have a wire clip that is reversible, and I think this is G10. It almost looks like micarta, but it is a G10. Steel liners, like I said, M390, goofy blade shape, but it's something unique. Spyderco does a lot of these unique knives, and some of them become collector pieces, and this one is going for $170. $170, Italian-made Spyderco, and I believe, yeah, right there, Maniago, Italy. Oh, centering, sorry. Centering is dead centered. Dead centered, lock up. I should have checked the lock up on the other ones. A little side to side, but that's just tightening the pivot. So, nice and centered though. Next, we have the BESTECH, what was this one? The BESTECH what? Delta. Sorry, the BESTECH Delta. Titanium. This is a poltergeist design. Titanium frame lock. The steel on this one, I think, is M39. Oh, no, S35. Sorry, S35 VN. Little tiny flipper. Little Warncliffe blade. And it has the big hardware that Poltergeist likes to do. It is a smaller knife. It is a real Warncliffe, though. Good action. Not drop shutty, but you can shake it shut. Nice and centered. And this one's going for, what is this one going for? $125. $125. Price to sell. Beautiful satin, no scratches. Brand spanking new. All these knives are brand new. They haven't even cut paper, so at least 90% of them are. Next, we have the ZT0909. Beautiful ZT. Very well done. Brand spanking new. Perfect centering. Great detent. Great action. Nice and smooth on the drop. This is a Les George design in S35 VN blade steel. Nice stone washed blade. Drop point blade, but we do have a nice ramp there. It is beefy, and it feels beefy in the hand. ZT pocket clip. Grippy G10. Solid detent. Nice big hardware. Yeah, this thing's definitely beefy. It's not titanium, though. It is a steel liner lock. Now, this one is going for $230. Reversible pocket clip. Like I said, big hardware, big stop pin. A little bit of play in the pivot, but I can tell that's just a turn of this. Oh, yeah, so just doing that, it tightens it up. And no up or down. Great example. This one is going for $230 for the Les George ZT0909. Next we have KANSEPT Shard. S35 VN blade steel. It has almost a mirrored stonewash. Very reflective. Titanium frame lock, carbon fiber, almost like a cross-cut section of carbon fiber. Beautiful carbon fiber right there. On one side, then we have the Damascus pocket clip. No scratches. Maybe light wear on the tip of it from being in hand, maybe. Very good action. Perfectly centered. Yep, perfectly centered. Detent. Good action. Good access to the lock bar. Very smooth. Now, if you're going to reverse flick it, you got to reverse flick it down here. Then it works. Detent, it's well tuned. You can easily flip it. Some might say it's slightly light. So, but it's very easy to reliably flip every single time. Lock up, rock solid. Not a reversible clip, I don't think. No, it's not a reversible clip. No milling on the inside. Another beautiful example. This one is going for $195. Beautiful knife for that price. Next we have the MKM Burnley AVENIS. I think AVENIS. I think it's M390 steel, drop point stone washed blade, liner lock, tight access to the liner lock. G10 with, I think this is aluminum, anodized aluminum overlays, pivot collar, and a titanium milled pocket clip. I think that's a steel liner lock. I'm going to double check it really quick. Yeah, steel liner lock. Smooth on the drop. Good action. Very comfortable in the hand. This one's going for, and it's nice and centered. Lock up. Rock solid. This one's going for $150. $150 for the MKM Burnley AVENIS. Next we have a custom here. I believe this is a Polish guy, Herman Customs. I've had a couple of them in for sharpening and on the channel. Whew, these things are amazing. Amazing. The sound of them, all of them have this ching sound or chunk. A couple more times. Very, very unique sound. All the Hermans I've tried have that sound. Super comfortable in the hand. Very, very comfortable. Nice long clip that has a cutout underneath. The machining is amazing. And then you can see how he polished the screws. Or the hardware, the pins, I guess you should say. Not sure. Oh, it's screwed in from the inside, so you can see the screws on the inside right there. And then he polished the tips. Pivot collar, how it's fit. And is that just a fingerprint? Yeah, it's polished. Let me just wipe it. Nice and polished. M390 steel. Beautiful example. It is a titanium liner lock. Very smooth on the drop. Yep, titanium. And he's got that titanium liner screwed in down here. And there's lots of milling on the inside. Heavy milling on the inside. Centering is dead nuts. Cross-cut section carbon fiber backspacer. That's gorgeous. I love cross-cut carbon fiber. Detent is perfect. Perfection. This one's going for $689. $689. Rock solid lockup. No side to side, no up or down. Beautiful. Next, the SHIROGOROV KC edition, the NLKC edition. This one was priced, I thought, amazingly the last time. So now it's even better. LMAX steel, SHIROGOROV action. Amazing detent, complete guillotine. This one's not even, I guess it is a controlled drop, but it's a guillotine controlled drop. Watch this. Perfect centering. These have like some of the best titanium milled pocket clips. No shift at all. There's probably a detent under there. That's usually how they do it. This has this, I forget what they call this, this G10, but it looks like a worm trail or something. Perfect flipper. Great leverage when you deploy it. Perfectly well tuned. Access to the lock bar. You can just feel the softness to it. You know, the Shirogorovs, they are so well done. It's the little details that really stand out on knives like this. Nice big stop pin. The construction's amazing. So comfortable in the hand. And like I said, it's the little details. It took me a bit to appreciate a Shirogorov, but when you have one and they never come off centering, and just like the little tiny details, like unlocking it and how early it gets past the detent. See how early that is? So it's always past the detent. It's the little details, man. This thing's amazing. This one's going for only $590 for a full-size Shirogorov. Great size, too. This is a great size Shirogorov in Elmax steel. $590. Next, we have the Spyderco Native Chief. And this one is an S30V with an aftermarket clip. There is not the production clip in the pouch, so you're going to get it with this clip. It does have a little snail trailing on the clip. But other than that, I mean, the blade and knife is perfect. Nice solid lockup. Back locks, you can flex a little bit out of them up and down if you're really muscling it, but that's just back locks. Action, really good. Yeah, solid action. The back lock's nice and comfortable. Centering is perfect. Perfect centering on a back lock. Beautiful blade. This is such a useful blade in the way it drops down right there. You can really lock in for detailing work. Nice full flat ground blade. This one came with a good edge too. USA made. Golden, Colorado. This one's going for $149. $149. I can't believe we didn't just round up to $150. Damn it, baby. We were trying to get that extra dollar. Spyderco Chief for $149. $140. I know.
Bring it back and say it right.
What do you mean?
You ruin the psychology when you say
only for $149. Sold to you, priority mail, to your door. Next is the MK Ultra KUKRI, which is a Jason Knight and Doug Micarta. I like to call him Micarta, but it's Marcaida, Doug Marcaida design, done in Italy by Fox Knives. These are the guys from Forged in Fire, you know, Doug, the It Will Kill, and Jason Knight does custom kukris in the USA. He's a very prominent knife maker for fixed blades. Amazing knife maker, makes some of the most beautiful fixed blades. And they teamed up and designed this. It's somewhat of a fighting knife. I mean, I'm sure you can use it for a lot of other things too. Great flipping action. Nice and smooth on the drop. You can use this fuller to reverse flick. Titanium frame lock. Steel lock bar insert. G10 show side. The ergos just melt in your hand. It's very comfortable. Thicker geometry, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a heavy-duty knife. The stop pin is nice and big for the closed position and the open position. Lockup, rock solid. Centering, a little to the show side, just a little bit. A little to the show side. We do have a spring clip. I'm not sure if that's titanium or that's steel. Okay, so the pocket clip is steel. I don't see any wear except for on the clip. Oh, no, there's a little bit on the corner right here. So we got a little bit of rubbing on this one, but I think that's going to happen with this. You know, the corners are going to break in really nicely. This is going to age very nicely. N690 steel. And the price on this is $205. $205. Great price drop on this one. $205. Next we have the RIKE M105. RIKE M105. The RIKE was doing budget knives for a while. Then they came out with some titanium knives. And this is one of their titanium frame locks. We have a titanium frame lock, steel lock bar insert. It is a steel clip and back spacer that's anodized, but the scales are titanium. And then we have N690 steel drop point blade. Beautiful drop point blade, by the way. The ergos are super duper comfortable with this. This thing nestles right in your hand and so many grips. Fantastic blade shape. I have one of these, so... action, detent is a little light, but the flipper works great. Like I can fail it, but it will reliably flip every time. It is pretty satisfying because the leverage you have in the flipper is really nice. So flips really good. Access to the lock bar is good. Centering is to the lock bar side, but I bet you could adjust that. I bet that would just take a little bit of adjustments. I'm not messing with it, but lockup is rock solid, but I would bet that you could get it centered, but it's hard to say, but it is coming uncentered. And the price on that one is $85. That is a great price for this. $85. Next is an integral, the RIKE 1707S. This thing is somewhat of a machining masterpiece. The machining on this, let's just go over the handle first and then we'll get to the blade. The machining on this is insanity. It is an integral, right? And then like you have micro milling on the sides. Let's zoom in here. Almost like a file on the sides. You can see all the machining, glass breaker on the back. And you can see the pivot collars that you can take off to get inside so that you can work on it and take the pivot apart. Then look at the steel lock bar insert. The machining it took to put that in is super soft. You don't even feel a gap. It's super lined up. Then you can see all this machining around the pivot. And then we have these studs are the stop pin. So this is the stop pin. And you can see how much it lines right up. Lockup is rock solid. Beautiful spear-like blade. M390 steel, blasted finish, thicker pokey geometry. It is perfectly centered. The machining is insane on this thing. So this one is going for lockup rock solid. These pins, these side pins make it to where like you won't get no side to side. This thing feels almost like just like a solid piece of metal. But it is all titanium, M390, steel lock bar insert, ceramic cage bearings, some windows on the back. And I don't think, no, that clip is not reversible. It does have a lanyard hold though. This one is going for $340. The action, let me just go over really quick. Really snappy detent. Very smooth on the drop. RIKE does, they've got like the machining and CNC work, like some of the best you can get in the world. Very smooth on the drop. The detent is very snappy. Great detent. $340 for the RIKE 1707. Next we have the LIONG Warrior. These are done by RIAT. So this is the LIONG Warrior 2. RIAT built. We have a dual ground Tanto. Hollow grind here, flat grind up on the front of the Tanto. M390 steel, titanium frame lock with shred carbon fiber, you can call it bolsters. Extremely well done. This is a beautiful example. Perfectly centered, right down the middle. Detent, perfection. Even the access to the lock bar and how smooth this all is, how easy it is to disengage. Complete fall shut action. Lock up, 100% rock solid. Ergos are really good on this too. Beautiful satin finish. Man, RIKE satin finishes are just amazing. Amazing. You cannot use the fuller though. It is not useful. It is just there for aesthetics. Backspacer and hidden lanyard. Fantastic action. Jimping on the flipper tab. No wear. I don't see any wear. Not even on the... one little tiny snail trail I see on the clip, but it is super tiny. Everything else looks really good. Fresh factory edge. That's just oil. This one is going for $350 for the LIONG Warrior 2. Made by RIKE. $350. Next, we have another unique Spyderco. The Spyderco Rock. It's, you know, Spyderco, they put out these little special pieces. Like I said, they wind up becoming collector pieces. I'm not sure if this one's still available or not, but this is a Sailor's Penchico design. Wire clip that is reversible. G10 scale, steel liners. And it is very, very smooth. Oily smooth. You can reverse flick it or thumb flick it. Slow roll's also really nice. The blade steel is VG10. Japanese VG10. It is a flat ground blade. Blasted blade, or like, is it etched? It's almost like a stonewash, but it's some sort of blasted finish on the blade. And the centering is perfectly centered. Lock up, very solid. Stop pin, milling on the inside. Like I said, very, very smooth. Perfect example, brand new. Does come in the box. This one is going for $160 for the Spyderco Rock. The Spyderco Rock is going for $160. Next, we have, oh, this one's super unique. This one is the Extreme Ratio. Extreme Ratio with a weird name. The right here, the INGREDIOR. It is an Italian-made knife, and it is wicked. Very big, too. But I will say, even though, let me just show you, it has a light detent, but check this out. Because of the leverage you have, when you try, it kicks out. It kicks out pretty hard, actually. I enjoy flipping this thing. It's very satisfying. It has these clicks, like when it, you can hear the double click, so it gets to hear it clicks, and then it gets to hear and clicks. So a double click, very, very satisfying. Then you can also use the thumb studs. Those work great as well. Ooh, I can almost reverse flick it. Let's do it again. Yep, you can reverse flick it. The blade, another wicked deal. We have a spear point tanto. So it's a tanto blade with a double edge on the tip. It's like a reverse tanto. A spear point tanto, flat ground. And it has a lock back here, so you can stop yourself from disengaging it. These are supposed to be really hard use. I can't speak to how hard use they are, but that's what they're going for. And this does not come in a box. This one only comes in a sack. Aluminum scales. We have a belt cutter on the back. Glass breaker down here as well. It does seem like it's in perfect condition. The blade steel, I'm not positive. I would guess N690, knowing the company, but I'm not 100%. I don't see it. But the ergos are very unique. This is got to be somewhat of a fighting knife, I would imagine, because like in the reverse grip, you have the jimping right there, and this really locks in right there. It's unique for sure. And it's pretty badass. And like I said, this flipper tab, man, you can push button it or light switch it. This is going for, these are pretty expensive actually, but this one has a huge price drop and is $290. $290. The centering is off though, pretty significantly. I'm imagining you could fix that. I feel a tiny bit of side to side, no up and down at all. So I imagine it's just tightening of the pivot. Detent is nice and clicky. And it does, is that a screw missing? No, it looks like there's a screw missing, but it's not. It's just not there. You can reverse it. So that's what it's for. So when you reverse it, you have the pattern for the other side. So the extreme ratio for $290. Next, we have the BENCHMADE Vector, USA made. It is an assisted access lock. So when you break the action, the assist bar takes over, as you can see. A spear point blade, beautiful spear point blade. G10 scales, very comfortable in the hand. S30V steel, beautiful satin. That is a nice satin, ain't it? Really nice satin. Deep carry clip, and it does have a lock back here. So you, how does that work? So I'm guessing for you to, so you don't. Yeah, so you can lock it when it's closed, so you don't engage it while it's in your pocket. And just pull that down, then flip it. Now you can't deploy it by pulling down the access lock. You do have to flip it. It does flip reliably, and it has some texturing on the jimping or on the G10. Very soft on the edges, but then it's got these ridges. Reversible clip. Centering is pretty much dead on. I mean, it's very close to dead on, but it might be slightly off to the show side by a hair, maybe. A tiny bit of side to side. No up and down, not at all. The access lock is really strong. But a tiny bit of side to side that could probably be tuned up with the pivot. This one's going for $160 for the BENCHMADE Vector. And next we have, and last we have the ZT0450. Now I will say the zero tolerance box has 0452 written on it, not 0450. So that is one thing, but this is the 0450 carbon fiber show side titanium frame lock with a steel lock bar insert, steel spring clip, very smooth, very snappy action. I have a ZTO 450 and I've always loved their action. They used to be like the pinnacle of action. Like everybody used to always say like, oh, well, it's not no ZT because the action on ZTs were so good. USA made. This one does have a coated blade. I'm not sure if that's DLC or PVD. S35 VN blade steel. Sinkovich design. Very smooth on the drop. Perfect centering. This one has the green standoffs. Fantastic detent. Drop point blade. And this one is going for great example. Oh, there's a little tiny bit of wear on the clip, as you can see, just a little bit. Great example, though. The price on this one is Okay, so it is 170 for the carbon fiber and titanium, zero tolerance, 0450. And that is the end of the knife sale. Like I said, everything we are shipping priority mail. That's in the price. So if you want anything, just email me and I will let you know if it's still available. If it's still available, I'll expect a payment immediately after I send you where to send the payment. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. Okay, so it is 170 for the carbon fiber and titanium, zero tolerance, 0450. And that is the end of the knife sale. Like I said, everything we are shipping priority mail. That's in the price. So if you want anything, just email me and I will let you know if it's still available. If it's still available, I'll expect a payment immediately after I send you where to send the payment. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.